Hey guys, what's going on? So today will be a quick video. I just watched I Got Issues channel on YouTube, and he was basically talking about this contest and what comic uh, what got you into collecting and reading and stuff. Now I'm not doing this for the contest. I just thought it was a good idea to talk about this because I don't think I've ever talked about why I got into comics or how I got into comics, and it's it's for me. It's personal. It has to do with my grandfather. When I was younger, I didn't really read all that well, um, and my grandparents and my mom, tried to encourage me to start reading, and they couldn't figure out a way for me to do that. Um, then one day we went into Max Milk, and at the time I think it was around the 90s, and I went to the rack, the comic rack, where they actually had comic racks. And there was a bunch there. My grandfather goes, what you doing? I'm going, I'm just looking at the books. And for some reason he goes, well, just pick one. Well, I've never owned a comic. Didn't know what was good, what I wanted. But at that time, I think I watched RoboCop 2, and fell in love with RoboCop. My mom wouldn't let me watch one. She barely let me watch two. So I didn't find the love of RoboCop 1 until later on when I got a little bit older. But when I saw this particular book, and my grandfather saw how excited I was for it, he picked it up for me. And that issue is RoboCop number 12. Um, just looking at this cover, you got that mustard yellow on the back, but you got the RoboCop that's popping out with his gun there. It's like trapped in purgatory and what, and it just looked cool to me. It was just like, now this is the original comic. I this is probably the only one from my childhood that I actually, except for the Death of Superman, my grandma bought me. But this is one of the comics that I actually took care of because it was from my grandfather. He was basically, my father figure growing up, and for him to just come out and just say, grab a comic, you can read it at home or we can look at it at home and whatnot. It was like, wow. Here, I'll open it up. I can't talk and do things at the same time. Now, there's nothing special about this book. Um, you know, there it's just basically RoboCop and he's trapped somewhere, I think. I haven't read this in a while. But yeah. Just flipping through this book as a kid. Just to visualize, you know. I just loved it. RoboCop saving some kid. I think he saved his kid because it reminded him of his own son. Yeah. I think that's what it was. But just the fact that my grandfather, went out of his way to buy me this was just awesome, and I loved him more for it. I love my grandfather, but I'm just saying, I just loved him more for it. It was just great. This is the only RoboCop one I actually bought. After that, I started collecting. What did I start collecting? I think it was Spider-Man books, and I think that's the majority of the '90s. It was Spider-Man and some X-Men, but majority was Spider-Man. But just the fact that this was my first comic and the first introductory to comics, as you could tell, I've gone a little bit overboard with just going past the comics and into collecting stuff. But I just thought I'd share that story with you guys. You know, if if you're a parent and your kid doesn't read, has no interest in read, take him to a comic book store, let him look, let him see the art. That's what got me going, was the art. And then, I'm looking, and then I start noticing that I'm reading these things more, and I'm picking up these graphic novels and I'm flipping through them, and they're not for kids. You give a kid a book, yes, he uses his imagination, But when you give him a comic, you just open up all these possibilities that he can do with his life. So, don't think of it as a kiddie thing. Just see what you can get. You can get a lot out of it. But anyway, guys, that's the video for this. It's very short. Um, you know, Leave me a comment. What comics, started you out. And throw me a like. And if you have not yet subscribed, please do. Sorry for the little rambling. I don't know what that's about. But talk to you guys later.